Pollution of the air or of the land all ultimately ends up in the sea. A quote from Jacques Cousteau. Good day everyone, this is Kent Anthony Ligad, and today we will discuss about human impacts on water, how oceans and seas are modified by pollution. With our objectives, first is to analyze how ocean and seas are modified by pollution. Second is to gain knowledge on how to prevent ocean and sea pollution. And lastly is to identify the main idea of the reporter. But before going to our main topic, let's try to differentiate ocean and sea. The main difference between ocean and sea is that ocean is a saltwater body that is larger in size than the sea, another saltwater body. So technically speaking, the term sea is used to describe smaller bodies of water, while the term ocean is used to describe larger bodies of water. Okay? Now, what is ocean or sea pollution? Ocean or sea pollution is the introduction of harmful contaminants which are common man-made pollutants that reach the ocean. Common man-made pollutants that reach the ocean includes littering, oil spills, sewage, industrial chemicals, ocean mining, pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, and detergents. So as you can see, these are the reasons or one of the major causes why we are experiencing ocean or sea pollution. Now, how oceans and seas are modified by pollution? Paano nga ba binago ng pollution ang ating karagatan? Harmful to our marine animals. Yes, sea animals are common victims of ocean pollution. Oil spill, for instance, will ensnare and suffocate marine animals by permitting their gills. When the oil gets into seabird feathers, they may not be able to fly or feed their young. Animals that aren't killed by crude oil may suffer from cancer, behavioral changes, and become unable to reproduce. Second is depletion of oxygen in seawater. As excess debris in the ocean slowly degrades over many years, it uses oxygen to do so, resulting in less oxygen in the ocean. Low levels of oxygen in the ocean leads to the death of ocean animals such as penguins, dolphins, whales, and sharks. Excess nitrogen and phosphorus in seawater also causes oxygen depletion. When a great deal of oxygen depletion occurs in an area of the ocean, it can become a dead zone where no marine life can survive. And lastly, a threat to human health. Pollutants in the ocean makes their way back to humans. Small organisms ingest toxins and are eaten by larger predators, many of which are seafood that we eventually eat. When the toxins in contaminated animals get deposited in human tissue, it can lead to a long-term health conditions such as cancer and birth defects. Okay? Now, how can we prevent it? First is by properly disposing of plastics and trash. One of the simplest way to reduce ocean pollution is to properly dispose of plastics and other recyclable materials so they don't end up in the ocean. In outdoor spaces, such as beaches and parks, dispose of trash in a secure receptacle or take it home with you. Second, by reducing chemical fertilizer use, excess chemical fertilizer eventually makes its way into the ocean. Choose organic fertilizer, which tend to be lower in nutrients, and use them at half strength or half as often as suggested. And lastly, hold a cleanup. Organize a social distancing cleanup at the beach or a nearby park. The more trash you pick up and properly dispose of, the less waste goes into our ocean. Okay? So that is all. I hope you have learned something from my report, and thank you for listening.